business.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and intern Mackenzie with you. The show brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc. Make sure you go check them out. Tell them we sent you. Grab a couple of bags. One for the road and one for when you get home. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. You can also email us, Connor at sports1440.ca and Brandon at sports1440.ca. Tons to get to on this show. Oilers win. Venezuela wins. March Madness. We got college football pro days. Everything is going on. Duke, good morning. How are you today?
Doing well, Connor. Like you said, a lot going on. It was a pretty eventful night in the sporting calendar. We kind of teed it up yesterday, and it lived up to all of it and then some. I think when you talk about the conclusion at the WBC, both first four games came down to like the last possession of the game. Even Team Canada at the Women's Worlds last night, extra end against Switzerland, and the Oilers pick up a huge 2 points to give themselves a little breathing room in what was a pretty good group effort in the first game without Leon Draisaitl. Hopefully a sign of things to come from this team down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, we can start there for sure. And I was very encouraged with what I saw from the Edmonton Oilers. I will say that Macklin Celebrini is that guy when he's on the ice and, not quite McDavid level, but picks the puck up at the red line. You're like,
something's about to happen.
What's he going to do? He's got that capability. Obviously kept off the score sheet last night, which was great for the Edmonton Oilers. But one of the things that did stand out to me, Duke, when you went through the Oilers lineup, 5-3 win, you're probably thinking, okay, without Draisaitl, McDavid probably had a 3-point night, maybe Nuge and Hyman. Only one Oiler had a multi-point game, and it was Adam Henrique, whose struggles were documented for a while here. They got contributions from a lot of different players. Nuge gets on the score sheet, of course. Hyman as well. The usual suspects. But Podkolzin, a guy who's really ramping it up this year. Max Jones, how about him getting the game-winning goal? Only played in 6 minutes, 56 seconds. No special teams. You had Connor Murphy chipping in as well. A bunch of players adding assists. But Duke, when you look at this team and how they're going to win hockey games down the stretch here, without Leon Draisaitl, it's going to take a group effort. Everyone does have to step up. There's going to be these nights where Connor McDavid is held to 1 point. And, we only say that about maybe 5 or 6 players in the NHL. Only 1 point. But good group effort from this team. They did let the Sharks battle back, which I don't think you want to see. But then to go through in the third period, get the goals from Jones and Hyman, and then cement it with a power play late after Connor McDavid probably would have scored. I think that was really encouraging. For me personally, that was good because my prediction was 5-3 Oilers.
Nice.
In 5 questions yesterday. So hopefully you took that to the bank and cashed in. But I thought that was just a really encouraging effort from the Edmonton Oilers, especially with the next couple games coming up here. And, you got the saves you needed from Connor Ingram, 900 save percentage. We've said it before, this Oilers team, that's kind of the minimum. You get that, and you should find ways to win hockey games with the team that they've constructed.
Yeah, and in so much of when you lose a guy like Leon Draisaitl, the conversation gets kind of turned towards, all right, well, as a team, we need to make up his offense, right? Nobody can replace Leon Draisaitl from an individual perspective, even if, someone's going to be playing in his spot on a specific line. But the goals that in offense he provides, you got to make it up throughout those bottom 3 forward groupings. But I think it's even further to the sense, okay, well, maybe we might struggle to do that. Last night, great example of it. Gilly said, Connor, 13 different players all finding the score sheet. But do you almost take a double down stance on this effort to improve the team's defensive game to say, okay, without Leon, maybe we can't be scoring 5 goals a night to win games 5-4 in dramatic fashion because we can't keep the puck out of our own net from both a defensive and goaltending standpoint. Connor Ingram was rock solid last night, especially the end of the second period, which was a pretty rough 20 minutes for Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once again, you let that team crawl back into the game, but in the third, when you do have four lines rolling in essence, and you talk about that effort from Max Jones and Adam Henrique to combine on what was the game-winning goal, that's really encouraging, without a doubt. And do you expect to get that type of contribution in the remainder of the 12 games? I don't know if you can, right? To have four lines going that much. Sure, you'd love to see it, but in a more realistic expectation, say, all right, let's try and continue to improve this defensive game and win a few more tight checking matters down the stretch before we can get our superstar back in the lineup. But I have to think that is maybe at top of mind for this group as well.
I would agree with you. The second period, the ice tilted. Sharks scored the only 2 goals to even things up. And, that's probably human nature for these athletes. You're up 3-1, you're feeling pretty good, but you have to know that if you give the teams a chance, they're going to make you pay in this league. The Sharks, despite right now out of a playoff spot, they're a team that's on the rise. They're pushing. They're not going to give up. And for the Oilers, I think that was a good wake-up call. And I always like to see how you respond, whether it's after a loss or a tough period or whatever it might be. How do you respond? And for the Edmonton Oilers to come out in the fashion that they did, not only prevent San Jose from scoring, but scoring the 2 goals, I thought very encouraging. Elliot Friedman, of course, today just put it out there. Update from Bowman on Leon Draisaitl says if everything goes as scheduled, he should be back at the end of the regular season, does not need surgery. So that's always good. Going under the knife never seems like a great idea, not the first option. So that's not necessary. That's really good news for Leon Draisaitl. Hopefully back sooner than later. Lots we are going to get to on this show today. We'll jump into the inboxes. I do want to say, hey, Lance reminded me, but I was going to say it anyways. Happy birthday, Lance. Thanks for being a loyal listener and a great friend. Connor Halley, probably. Yeah, Lance.
He wrote your script for you?
He wrote it for me. I mean, I was going to say happy birthday for sure. I appreciate all the Raiders memes you send me on Instagram, and saw you went to the game last night. So glad the Oilers got you a win.
I picked a good one. Exciting.
No
Very
doubt
exciting.
about it. Quick question for you.
For me or for Lance?
For you, for our listeners as well. Right now, we would agree that Macklin Celebrini is a superstar, right?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say he's still, 4th in the league in scoring?
Yeah. In sports, who's your most likable superstar? Because I will say it does go sport to sport. People just like Vlad. People just like Aaron Judge. In the NFL, people hate Mahomes. People hate Joe Burrow or whoever it might be. We've seen it for a long time with Tom Brady.
Right.
Basketball, people hate King James somehow. For you, is there a superstar this guy just seems great? Because Macklin Celebrini is him right now.
He definitely seems to be that guy in the NHL. And apart from jealousy outside of the Toronto market, I definitely think Connor McDavid falls into that category because he's not outspoken. He does maybe fall into the category of kind of the boring superstar because he is just so dedicated to hockey that he doesn't do anything outlandish. There's no drama. There's no, details leaking out about stuff that could get him in trouble. He's just a hockey player and just so happens to be the world's best one as well. But when you first said that, Connor Martina, my mind immediately went to Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, obviously. I mean, just he comes from played college football at Wyoming, right? Not far from the biggest football program you'll stumble across in the United States. Really humble guy. It seems when you hear him talk, and even going to the end of this season where he loses, he takes all the onus on himself, and you see how much he means to his teammates. And Dawkins, one of his old linemen, kind of breaking down in tears, hearing that his quarterback thought he let them down when maybe in their eyes it was the other way around. So, and then you factor that in with he's also happened to be married to a incredibly beautiful acting and singing superstar as well. I think that makes him a little bit more likable too. He's hey, good for him. Way to do it for just. I mean, hey, he's very rich and very talented football player, but he kind of just seems like a pretty regular Joe.
She sings too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I think that's more her bread and butter. She was a singer before she was an actress. And then she did both in Pitch Perfect.
Number really? 2. Okay, well, then, yeah, of course she could sing. MTR says Steph Curry. I think I like Steph Curry for sure. You know what? I like Patrick Mahomes, to be honest with you. I don't like his supporting cast, but I like him. The family kind of gets him in hot water sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I like the family. Gruff had said, how can you guys not, how do people not like Josh Allen? Seems like an awesome guy. And says, Duke, you read my mind. Super Bowl all-time performer, Jalen Hurts, Triple C. Everyone's just texting in their favorite player now.
I do think Jalen Hurts is a likable guy. You can knock him, like, if you don't let you say, oh, he's propped up by the Eagles from like a player perspective. From a human perspective, I mean, look at what he went through in college, right? He gets benched in the national championship game for Tua Tagovailoa.
They threw a dart.
They win the game, and then he just happens to transfer and then goes and wins a Heisman at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So like a ton of credit to like the character of that, and seems like a really nice guy. Maybe he hasn't seen eye to eye with AJ Brown all the time, but once again, I think that's more of a football thing than a personal thing. So all those factor into this conversation we're having. But I agree. I think Jalen Hurts is, from the outside looking in, is a pretty likable character.
I would think so. Jane Victoria says Crosby. Yeah, that's for sure. See, MTR's,
don't ask Flyers fans that. I did have a different opinion.
That is fair.
Capitals fans probably too.
Hurts is corny. All those quotes after the game. Corny.
That is kind of funny, actually.
I did like his, and I think he got the wording wrong technically, but when the Vanderbilt player was like, Alabama, you're next, and he's like, he should have said technically, but I think he said theoretically, we are next on the schedule. Yeah. Pretty funny line. And then they would just destroy them.
Yeah, some of his post-game stuff, I don't know if it's on Instagram or Twitter. I don't follow him either, but they're almost like fortune cookie type lines that he's just dropping as some nice wisdom. I don't know. Hey, be corny. Do whatever you want.
Whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes you, whatever, like, as much as we loud professional athletes, and it's tough to feel sorry for them because they make millions of dollars, they have every resource essentially available to them, all these factors, like, it can be tough, right? When there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, whether it be cities, teams, organizations, plus everybody follows your every move from both a personal and professional standpoint. If that's what you need to blow off steam and keep yourself, on the right tracks, is to post some really corny quotes after games, go for it. I don't think it hurts anybody.
Hey, your uncle does it on Facebook, right? So.
Exactly. And those are far from inspirational. Those are head shakers.
Don't push the poke the snake.
Never awaken a sleeping bear. What?
Wesley Snipes says, are we all sick of Kelsey? I think he got propped up a little too high. A common football fan might not like him. Is Mike Trout the most likable star in baseball? Probably. I mean,
Shohei's
pretty cool.
Shohei would be, but like the fact he went to the Dodgers to start with for all the money, and then the gambling thing with his interpreter, I think that turned a lot of people where they're not quite as keen on him anymore. But he does seem really nice.
I think for likable, yeah. I think to me, Vlad Guerrero was extremely likable, but if you're a Yankees fan, you don't like him.
For understandably,
the Yankees lose.
If you're a Yankees fan, you know who you should not like? Aaron Judge. Play better when games matter.
Yeah, that would be good. We'll talk about that in the next segment because that was amazing. Paul Skeens, Josh Allen, Sidney Crosby, Steph Curry from Brad MTR says Purdy should be in that category.
Yeah,
but he's just like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do my job and go home and put on my button up I got from Mark's Work Warehouse. Like, he's just a chill guy.
God forbid a white boy have a little move.
Well, he breaks it down every once in a while.
Oh yeah, hitting the mean Dougie on the touchdown runs.
It was all right. Jane Victoria says, I should have said Sid Crosby in case it wasn't clear. Oh, it was clear. Nobody was thinking Max Crosby. We hate Max. No, we don't. Actually, he's a cool guy too. I don't think there's any other Crosbys that really come to mind. You got any other Crosbys other than Sid? Sid and Max?
Bing
Crosby. Like Mason Crosby, former kicker. Yeah. Yeah, I would not have brought
Mason Crossbar.
Wouldn't have brought him up, to be honest with you. Triple C in truck says, we're talking superstars. Purdy's not a superstar.
Oof.
Triple C in a truck, MTR. The beef continues. He's retired, but I think the most likable star in Canadian sports is Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, the former Chief. No, love what he did post-football, but sorry, Patty, I can't do it. Just can't do it. Big Papi? See, Big Papi would be beloved by a lot of people, but I don't know if he's loved by Yankees fans. His post-game career has probably helped him out a little bit. Post-career gig, maybe I should say. Yeah, I mean, he might be in that conversation. It is funny, but like, no matter who we say, We'll find out.
Somebody will chime. He's like, I hate that person.
You know what he did to my team. Duke.
Connor.
Pro Day is coming up today.
Oh, boy.
Just a little rundown. Today you got Georgia, Incarnate Word, Minnesota, Mississippi, Penn State, Stanford, UTSA. I'm sure there's players we could find on all of these rosters.
Of course.
But Georgia's probably the big one, hey?
I would think
how
so.
many
I mean,
dogs
it's a pro football factory down there. Right? It's the program they run. I think it's in a lot of senses taken over from Alabama as the primary factory. Like in worst case scenario, you're scrambling because a couple guys just got taken in succession, and your draft board is all of a sudden looking a little sparse. Like, who's the next best available Georgia player? It's a strategy that has yielded pretty good results for a number of different teams in the past few drafts.
Ohio State, also another football
For
factory.
sure.
Just trying to think of players to watch from these pro days. Miami's going to have a few good players as well. I think there's a guard from Penn State, isn't there? Maybe that's the only one I'm thinking of. Tackle from Georgia, Monroe Freeling. In a mock draft I'm looking at, they have him going to the Texans at 28th.
I'd love it.
Loading up on those tackles. You got to be doing so. We're not watching it right now. We've got curling on. Sweden leads China 7-4. In my previous career, previous show that I used to work on, I used to love pro days. I just throw it on the NFL Network. You could just totally geek out on those sort of things.
Even though you don't think people like actual scouts should take anything that happens there into consideration.
Very minimal, like 3% of their drafting. I think it's more so the interviews that they conduct with people. But if we're gonna draft a quarterback because he faked right, rolls left, threw across the body to a receiver running like a post, no, you can't be putting too much draft stock in that, especially when it's hanging up there for like 3 minutes.
The goddamn Jets.
A safety's gonna come in there and intercept that ball. Remember that. I want to get in on these scout meetings, see what they see when they see it. Oh, Kenneth says Shaq. That's a good one. Well, like Shaq. Lance says Tony Hawk.
Yeah. But the problem is most people don't even know who Tony Hawk is when you meet him, right? That was a good little stretch of a bit. It's like, oh, like the skateboarder. Yeah, exactly like that, actually.
There's some other good ones with Tony Hawk on the internet. I mean, I still remember watching him do the 900 on, the X Games. There's no way to know if it was actually live or not. I assume it was pre-taped, but that was outstanding. Sizzler says, not a superstar, but who would you say is the most hated player? Is it Matthew Tkachuk?
He plays a pretty good villain.
In the NHL? Yeah, I would say so. To a T. In the NFL, is there any dirty players anymore? Like Vontez Burfict would have been the guy for a long time.
People really hate Texans. Aziz linebacker, Aziz Al-Shaair.
He throws some hits.
He's laid the boom on some people, illegally so at times.
Yeah. I think the NHL has a few good ones, like that being a physical
Who was
sport.
that guy? Who was this DB that played for the Broncos and then elsewhere too? And like that's all he did was
Kareem Jackson.
Yeah,
he played for your Texans too.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh, blowing guys up. How about Dylan Brooks in the NBA? Most hated, Josh? Close. Yeah.
Is he in Phoenix now?
Yeah,
he was part of the Durant trade, right?
Canadian. Represent.
Okay. What you got to do?
Jalen Ramsey, super strong. Is that for hated? Aaron Rodgers per Lance seems to be the most hated. You never know what you're getting with Aaron Rodgers, though. He's back and forth. Craterman J says, how about GSP for most beloved? I think I could get on board with that one. Pretty humble guy. I think sportsmanlike in the ring as well. I think it's a good one. I can keep those texts rolling in. 1-833-401-1440. Loved athletes, hated athletes. Let us know. When we come back, we'll talk some baseball, some March Madness, and more. Get the decks. 1-833-401-1440. It's Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Mmm. Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. Are you looking for safe and professional transportation solutions for your group events and sports teams? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
What's some non-Nissan drivers here?
Nightmarish flurries out of the Northwest today, looking like a horror movie.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's a glorious day out there.
Get a Nissan Kicks S all-wheel drive for $398 monthly at 2.9% with $0 down. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit nissan.ca for details. 60 months, conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Every coach needs a game plan. Plan your fantasy frenzy with Halley and Douglas right here on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Hi, welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, and intern Mackenzie with you here. Text us 1-833-441-1440. Lance says, is Lotai the most loved host at 1440? Yeah, without a doubt. I would say so. Most hated from Jay and Victoria, retired Sean Avery. Yeah, he had a good run there. Most love has to be Shohei. Just a good dude. You see it all the time. People that bring up gambling just hate the Dodgers. Back to back, baby. Love Dark Cloud, a.k.a. the Ulsterman. Noted Dodgers fan. MTR says the most hated 1440 guy is Carius.
Not this morning. It was me this morning.
Well, I heard your 5 questions just were not very good.
Well,
or wait, no, in or out.
Yeah, according to a select number of listeners and Kevin and Schlemmer really hated the first 2.
What were they?
I just said that the level of production that you got from the Oilers as a collective last night, and I should have said just the forwards instead of the whole team. I said that was the best it's going to get. Like, how can it get better?
Someone could score 2 goals.
Well, but will they?
So they just should have just said they're out.
Which they did.
And what was
emphatically.
What was the second question?
And then the second one was one that I'm admitted I don't even think I'm in on myself, but I wanted to float it out there and see who should take Leon's spot on the power play. Said Jake Wallman. Should get a look. Said he should get a look. One-timer on that side. That's the
He's
only
got a good one-timer.
That's the only thing Kevin Carius has said since the moment the Oilers acquired Jake Wallman was how good he is on the offside because he can hammer the puck. Best one-timer on the left side on the team. And now he's got a perfect opportunity for it. And Kevin's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Which, once again, I don't even think I'm sold on that notion. There's probably a collection of better options. But if you're going to do some experimenting, give him a shot. Maybe he can work himself out of this funk he's kind of in overall by getting some confidence on the power play.
Yeah, why not put Darnell Nurse on the wing? So your next step.
Okay. First of all,
you should do that question.
First of all, there's plenty of power plays that still use 2 defensemen.
Yeah, you're right.
Plenty is maybe not appropriate, but there are some.
They exist.
There are dozens of us. Dozens.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing what I will say. When you got to do 5 questions 5 times a week, it's 25 questions a week, 100 a month, 1,200 a year.
That's a lot of questions.
Times 3 years. You do the math. You're at like 3,200 questions. Well, we're not at 3 years yet. So don't jump the gun. We'll see if you get there.
It's less than that because obviously Kevin goes on holiday, so sometimes I'm hosting and other people have to make the questions. And hey, I can take the criticism. I'm not against it. When Donovan has bad questions, I tell him they're bad questions.
I think the only person that's ever kind of called out my questions is TR. Because I'll go to that website like Days of the Year, and he's like, "How do we have how does this day exist?"
It's a fair point, but like, hey, it helps when your brain doesn't have something new to come up with every single day.
Sometimes it's fun.
You just need a poke in the right direction by National X, Y, or Z Day.
I don't have to tell anyone who works in this business that if you do 4 sports questions and 1, what's your favorite soda? That one is going to get the most responses because everyone has an opinion on it.
It gets the most responses, and then 3 people text and be like, "This is so stupid. Why aren't you talking about sports?
Stick to sports."
It's like, dude, cut me a break.
Such is life.
Hey, we're not swinging hammers here, Cons.
Exactly. Or digging ditches.
Right.
Now, let's get to the inbox for elksnation.ca, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold. It is the most in-depth double football coverage you'll find online. You got videos, articles, podcasts, all the info, elksnation.ca. I want to get this one because Kenneth said, Viva Venezuela, coming back from the break. Well, I don't know if we have that song on the system, but I do think we should bring that up because that was awesome. And by the American standards with hockey, baseball is now Venezuela's game. I will say, Duke, I have seen not many Venezuelan croupiers, that is their bird, eating bald eagles with terrible AI compared to what I saw when it came to the bald eagles going after Canadian geese that all the Americans were posting. I might start.
Which, would that even happen in nature?
They don't care.
I don't think so because I'm pretty sure bald eagles are scavengers. like a vulture.
Either way, they're beautiful. But how awesome was it to see Venezuela beat them last night with the arrogance we saw from the Americans as of late? Hey, you got us in hockey, no doubt about it. You got us in baseball. But especially on the political landscape, I've got to think that Venezuelan win for those players last night, pretty massive. And awesome for all the Canadians that immediately went to social media to chirp them.
Yeah, I said it this morning. I have no problem admitting that I felt really good when Venezuela won that baseball game. Especially just like the way the Americans approached this tournament, where it felt kind of pompous, which is the American way, right? And not all Americans have that quality or lack thereof at times, but it's just part of the national identity. And for them to come in almost assuming they were going to run roughshod over everyone, then when Japan loses out, it seems like, oh, what a breeze, we've got our way to the final, and they take down the Dominican Republic. The Venezuelans shut them down. Like, the offense was essentially non-existent. You get one home run by Bryce Harper, you scoreless through 7 innings, and then you get shut down in the 9th when you're down 1 with some of your biggest guys at the plate. Yeah, I loved it. Loved every second of it. Now, that was kind of third until the final 2 innings. It was my third viewing priority. That's what I was watching on my phone, as I had the Oilers game on the TV, March Madness on my monitor, and then the baseball game on my phone. But I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it tremendously.
This tournament has been around since 2006. The Americans have only won it once.
That's rough for an American pastime.
I think when you call it your pastime, I think you lose that. They are now tied for second with Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, who each have 1 win. Japan has 3, and they won it in 2023. So right now it's Venezuela's game, followed by Japan, and then the States, and then I guess the DR. But yeah, that was quite nice to see last night. Just on the topic of the Americans, you see Jack Hughes launched the gold-winning puck.
He wanted it?
He wants it.
Oh, he wants it.
He wants the goal.
Doesn't that go to like the American Hockey Hall of Fame or something, or just the Hockey Hall of Fame?
It's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah. But he wants it back. It's not his puck. He did score the goal, 100%. He said he's trying to get it. Like, that's BS, in my opinion. Why would they have the puck?
That's crazy. Well, I suppose there's sort of a precedence there in other sports.
He follows it with saying, I don't see why Megan Keller and I shouldn't have those pucks. They're in the Hall of Fame with your jersey and gloves. Like, it's a pretty big honor to have your stuff in the Hall of Fame.
When players hit big home runs, they go and try and offer things to the fans that catch them to get them back. And sometimes it works. Almost always it works, I think, because eventually it turns into almost more of a threatening thing. Same for footballs, right? Big touchdowns, career milestones, record-setting things, until Mike Evans accidentally launches it into the crowd. But they always keep those footballs themselves. So I suppose I can see the argument. I don't agree with it. In this case of the puck, I think that should be in either the Hockey Hall of Fame or the American Hockey Hall of Fame. And I would think that'd be a pretty big honor, as you said, to have your gear, your goal, your game-winning goal puck being there for everyone to see rather than just sitting on your mantle.
It's a little weird.
Like, you get the gold medal. That's your commendation for what you accomplished. Is that not enough?
Chemist says, note on that, he hasn't asked for it. Well, his quote was, I'm trying to get it. Like, that's bull bleep that the Hockey Hall of Fame has, in my opinion. Why would they have that puck? So he's trying to get it. So, okay, maybe he hasn't formally asked for it, Kenneth, but it seems like he wants it. But I'm with you, Duke. Like, and yeah, you're right. The precedent has been set. And in football, it's a little easier because, you run that ball into the end zone. Your teammate has it. You just hang on to it. You noted Mike Evans, who whipped, was it Tom Brady's touchdown ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, into the crowd. That wasn't ideal. Baseball's a little bit tougher because whoever catches it hangs on to it. And it seems like for those really big home runs, it becomes like a business. Like, how can I
100%
be there for that home run?
And people put these numbers on it. Like, this is what this ball would be worth on, say, a collector's market. And I do find it funny that when things like that happen and then you see what the teams will offer the fan that catches it, and I'll admit sometimes it seems like a bit of a slap in the face. Like, if that's what it's worth, just pay them cash. They'll offer them season tickets and however many games in the owner's lounge. And that's all great. And as a sports fan, I think you definitely entertain the notion of giving it up for that. And, you get other signed memorabilia from the player, from the team. 100%. You need to be compensated because you caught the ball. It's a little bit different when it turns into a fist fight in the stands to try and get these pieces of memorabilia. I don't know. I can see where Hughes is coming from, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah. I mean, and you see it in the NFL a lot of the time, like when players break records, they will send their shoes or gloves or whatever to the Hall of Fame. I think that's kind of a cool spot for it to be for fans. And like you say, you have a fair point. Like if it was like the American Hockey Hall of Fame, why not? That's a display where Americans can come visit it and like take a look at it, get a picture with it. It's a pretty cool thing. Maybe he just wants it for a little bit, though. I think Emmitt Smith kept every one of his touchdown balls from Cool Hand Luke.
That would be a lot of balls. Where do you put them all?
Auction them off, maybe. But I mean, that's like we said, like you carry that into the end zone, you just squeeze it, get it back to the sideline, a little bit easier to keep. And the precedent certainly is set there. Now, do we know where the golden goal puck is?
I have to assume it's in the Hall of Fame.
Like, I kind of just think that's how the...
With zero knowledge on it whatsoever, purely a guess, I'm guessing it's in the Hall of Fame. And I'd be shocked if it's anywhere else.
I've been there and I didn't see it. I was too blown away by all the goalie masks, to be totally honest with you. But I would think that is where it would be. Anywho, I don't know if he's going to get it. We'll see. Maybe the Hall of Fame will just say, sure, take it. We don't want it anyways. Tara says it is at the Hall of Fame. I remember seeing it. So there you go. The standard has been set in the NHL. That's where it goes. There you go. And Cool Hand Luke said a little screenshot. Emmitt Smith kept nearly all of his 150-plus touchdown balls through his 15-year career. Following the advice from his father, he created a ritual where he would take the ball to the sideline, mark it with tape, and have it stored to preserve his historical accomplishments. Is that something you would be interested in collecting, Duke? Like if they went up for auction, would you want one?
I'm not a huge memorabilia guy. It's cool to an extent, like to have, some cool signed jerseys on your wall if you got a man cave or an office or something. But otherwise, if in a historical context, I kind of think that stuff should belong to the sport for everyone to enjoy.
Give back to the game that gave you so much.
Sure.
Did you watch any hoops last night at the collegiate level?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watched both games.
Texas gets past NC 8, 68-66, and Howard holds off UMBC 86-83.
It was kind of like two tales of the same game to an extent where like Howard they controlled the game almost in its entirety, and then they let UMBC back into it very late, and it came down like they had a shot at the end or a chance to get a shot up and tie the game and force overtime or even win it with a 3. And then Texas, it was closer most of the night, but they led the whole time. And then just such terrible decision making in the final few minutes from a possession perspective that gave. I mean, they tied the game and then just a cold shot, 1 second left. Right, it's a perfect way to start March Madness, even if it is just the first 4. That it wasn't a buzzer beater by definition, but I mean, 1.1 second left on the clock. They did get the ball into somebody and a chance to heave it up. It got blocked, so a very low percentage chance, obviously. But when you have the first 2 games come down to the final play, final possession, and a chance of forcing overtime or winning the game, I love that. It's kind of sets a great precedent for the rest of the tournament to some lofty expectations. 2 more tonight with Lehigh. I can't remember who they play, and then SMU against Miami of Ohio. So 31-1
at 4:40. Got Prairie View A&M taking on Lehigh. Do you know where Prairie View is located?
The prairies
of Texas.
Oh, okay.
Do you know where Lehigh is?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, nailed it. Do you know where SMU is?
Texas.
You're good at this game.
Southern Methodist.
I'm just going to throw these at you. How about Miami?
Of Ohio?
Of Ohio.
I believe it's in Ohio.
Proud alumni of?
Former Oiler.
Former Steelers quarterback, too.
Ben Roethlisberger?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Wow.
Yeah. Went to Miami, Ohio. 31-1, like you said, on the season. Heck of a run for them. Opportunity to get in, taking on SMU. It's got a good history of sports. SMU coming to this one as 7.5-point favorites. For the other game, Lehigh, 3.5-point favorites. I'm fired up, Duke. Did you get your bracket in as our challenge continues? Are you done?
My bracket is completed. I'm probably going to give it another pass following tonight's conclusion. Of the games. But I think I like where it's at.
If you would like to get into our little annual tradition here of the Sports 1440 Fantasy Frenzy March Madness bracket, you can e-transfer Brandon $10. Brandon at sports1440.ca. Include your email in the memo so he can send you the link. And we'd like to get that done in the next 20 minutes here. So we've been telling you for days, if you want to get in on the action, you can do that now.
The brackets don't lock until tomorrow before tip-off.
Yeah.
But get your entry in now so there's not a mad scramble tomorrow morning during the carry show and you're like, I need the link, so you can get your bracket made. Why put yourself or me in that position? Get in right now. E-transfer the $10, support the Ben Stelter Foundation, and give yourself a good a chance as anybody to win what is a constantly growing prize pool. Seems pretty straightforward to me.
It is. 100%. Yeah, don't do that to Duke. He might go off the grid for
I might
a day,
lose it.
and then you would just not get in on it. So include your email, send that money, Brandon at sports1440.ca. Any questions, text us, 1-833-441-1440. Jeremy from the Arctic Cake says, Duke is winning it all, baby. Go Blue Devils. Well, that was my pick, so I hope you're right. Then again, my pick doesn't carry much water. It's just a guess. This whole tournament, I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes. I feel like even people with a great amount of expertise in this are going to do good. So maybe I'll get lucky. Darren, you're driving. We can send you the email for sure. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll let you know what's coming up on the Gregor Show and the Lowdown with Low Tide. It is Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
When my husband and I said until death do us part, I never expected to find myself at the doorstep of divorce. I was facing an uncertain financial future, expensive lawyer bills, and most importantly, I was concerned for the well-being of my kids. My spouse and I turned to Fairway Divorce Solutions for help. Fairway walked us through a step-by-step process, allowing us to develop a clear roadmap to resolve financial concerns and provide a proactive co-parenting strategy. It helped us avoid chaos and courtrooms.
For a no-cost consultation, visit fairwaydivorce.com.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Welcome back. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc, or go find out the website. Get all the information. WillHawkBeefJerky.com. Brandon, Douglas, Connor Halley, Josh Fenwick, Intern McKenzie with you here. Coming up next year on Sports 1440, we'll hand things over to Alan Mitchell, the host of The Lowdown with Low Tide. That'll run from noon to 2. We'll have Declan Kruger along with him, as per usual, and they'll be joined by Kevin McCurdy, recapping the Oilers and a whole lot more. And then from 2 to 6, it is the Jason Greger Show. Should have Mike Rupp from the NHL Network, former NHLer, Stanley Cup champion, join us. Hoping to get Andy Lindahl out of Denver, talk a little bit about the Avalanche, but also the Denver Broncos, making a big deal, bringing in Jen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins. 3:20 today, Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation will be by. At 3:40, we've got Carolyn O'Dwyer, Pandas volleyball head coach. Of course, the Pandas winning the Natty over the weekend, the number 1 seed. Taking care of business. At 5 o'clock, we got Spec of the Oil Report and Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440. And you got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Carius and the Duke are back. Then it's already Thursday, Duke. Man, the week is almost over. Feels a little premature to ask you what you're doing on the weekend, but Oil Kings in action Sunday, tonight as well. Hot dogs, $2 a piece, baby. I think they sold 15,000 hot dogs this year.
On a Wednesday?
Wiener Wednesday.
Oh.
Come on, man.
I thought it was Toonie Tuesday.
I mean, it could be.
Too many great promotions in the city. I can't keep them all straight.
You go to an Oil Kings game, Duke. You sit down, puck drop 7. You get there about 6:45. Right. How many hot dogs can you eat in one game?
Is that the only thing I'm consuming?
Listen, you can have whatever you're having. You're not having any more food. No, you know what? You're not having beer because that'll fill you up.
That's what I mean. If I know my objective is to eat as many hot dogs as I could, I would get myself like a large soda. Just, you got to wet your whistle.
They got Mountain Dew there too.
Oh,
just so you know,
Mountain Dew on tap at the Oil Kings game.
Yeah,
that's loco, man. I don't know if I'm trying to do it and I'm not concerned about missing hockey going back and forth from the thing. I could probably eat like 2 or 3 a period, so somewhere between 6 to 9.
Yeah. If you
I'm not like Carius who walks in here and be like, I could eat 100 hot dogs over the course of an Oil Kings game. No problem. No.
I kind of thought 10 at first, but that's quite a bit of hot dog.
That's a lot of hot dog.
If you were assisted by some vitamins, you could probably do more though.
Oh yeah. all of a sudden I'm just like looking, it's almost like you come out of a fugue state. Like when you see on TV shows and the person doesn't even remember the murder they committed. And I've just got these empty tinfoil hot dog wrappers littered around me. I was like, what happened? It's like, dude, you ate 100 hot dogs. Like, no, I don't feel very good.
You did the Carius. You did 100. Drinking Mountain Dew as a 30-year-old. Yay or nay from MTR. Oh, yay. 100%. You come on. That's like saying, can you eat chicken nuggets at 30. You can eat whatever you want, whenever
you
you
can
want.
do whatever. Like Mountain Dew, I will say there is some, and maybe it's just because I don't really like these particular types of soda. Like drinking an orange crush or a grape soda or something, there is something that feels kind of juvenile about it. Maybe it's because of just the simplicity of their flavor. And I don't love them. I never have, even when I was a kid. But Mountain Dew, since it's not everywhere, I do feel like it's almost a treat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I could tell you the last time I drank an original Mountain Dew, but dude, Baja Blast. Since that first came into my life such a short time ago, I'm putting that back pretty regularly. Not as regularly as I was, say, 2 summers ago when it was nearly one a week.
You were blasting off.
I was
quite a
blasting
bit.
off every Friday, man. Now it's more of maybe once every month or two, I'll have a Baja Blast.
It's like when you go to an establishment and they have Dr. Pepper on tap.
You're like, that's unique. Better try
Just,
that.
as I drink it. This is great. Rockford says that Mountain Dew is banned in Japan and many European countries. Well,
sorry for their luck.
It's too bad for
They're
them.
missing out.
Come to Canada, baby. We got it all for you. We got so many varieties. Darren had said, thanks, guys. We gave him the password or the info for our bracket challenge. He says, I know nothing about college basketball, so I'm going to use AI to pick my bracket with some sort of funny prompt, like pick my bracket with which mascot would win in a fight. Darren. And Darren, here's the thing. Your odds are just as good as mine.
I was just typing a response to him there. I was like, good, your chance. A, that's funny. And B, you have a good a chance of winning as any of the rest of us dummies.
Yeah. I'll say, like, I knew a girl back in the day and we would do pro lines like Sunday mornings.
Mhm.
She'd come with us and be like, oh, who's playing? Oh, it's the Bucks versus the Panthers. I was like, oh, I think a Panther would win that fight.
Donovan Paulson
go with the kiddies.
registered his bracket last night. He texted me during the pregame show. He must have been bored. He says, hey, can you send me the link to the pool? I'll leave you $10 here on the studio. And he did. Credit to him. I'm just looking. His bracket's name, the Champ. He capitalized the T in the, but not the C in Champ. That's so Donovan. That is so Donovan.
It's not an official title. It's just,
Yeah, it's just a description.
It's like his name, but
It's
it's
just-
not his name.
It's just an adjective.
Never changed, Donovan. Did you look at the bracket? How does it look?
You can't view someone's bracket until they're locked.
Oh, okay.
So no copying. But it does says his isn't even filled out yet.
He better fill it out. It'd be a bad look not to. It's so simple. If you do want to get on that, that's Brandon at sports1440.ca. Include your email in the memo. $10 e-transfer. Very simple. And we are taking teams for our baseball draft as well. Duke, you're kind of figuring that process out
I
right
figured
now.
it out. I did. So because I just renewed last year's league, I had to manually delete all the old teams because there are several people that are coming back. So I sent those invites, which came across properly. But then several of the new players said they clicked on the link I sent them. They're like, it won't let me in because it says the league's full. I've remedied that. I even already followed up with Darren and someone else, Dallas. I followed up with them, and I think they said it's working now. So if you want in on that, drop me an email as well. That one's a $50 entry fee. We're having up to 20 teams. And I think we're already at 8 or 10. So we're going to have a draft here in a week or so.
Northside Adam said, I made my bracket last night. Boys, I think I got it this year. I really, really do. But somehow every year I pick Duke to win. P.S. I'm a Blue Devils fan. But I don't really mean for this to happen. It just works out. Go Devils. I also did. Now, I want to tell you, if you want to go check out our social media platforms, Mackenzie put together a video with Declan with his picks, some options, and then what's the term, Mackenzie, that I forget what it's called. No, it's like pen palm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say ego maxing or whatever one of the youth terms is when you're really going.
It's the term when like Declan's really talking college basketball and he just drops
Well,
it
yeah,
in
Ken
there.
Palm is like a
subtly.
rating system, and there's for offense, defense,
Yeah.
overall. Yeah.
I told Mackenzie the follow-up should have been, what is Ken Palm? Like, explain that.
Declan goes on a 10-minute rant. He's like, all right, now, what is Ken Palm?
That's like what I say to him. Like, okay, so is Ken Palm good? Is this a good thing? Donovan is electric. He's the original intern punching bag. Wow, that is true. Got a few people asking the email. The email is Brandon at sports1440.ca. $10 if you want to get in the NCAA basketball. If you want to get in on our baseball league, $50. Your call.
I don't think we've picked a charity, but as is the case for all of our stuff, half of the pot will go to a local charity. For the basketball, it's the Ben Stelter Foundation. We'll have a final one next week on where the baseball fund is going to. The other half to the winner. First place. That's it.
Heck yeah. All right. That music means we're done. For everyone here, thank you guys for joining us. Check the podcast if you missed anything, or head over to Sports 1440 AM on YouTube. Right now, though, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with the Duke, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
6-game slate in the NHL tonight, starting off with the Battle of the Hudson. The Devils are in New York against the Rangers. Sidney Crosby making his return after an 11-game post-Olympic absence as the Penguins take on the Hurricanes. Sens are in Washington. Avalanche host the Stars and battle the league's top two teams. Blues are down the highway in Calgary, and Anaheim hosting Philly in the nightcap. Edmonton Oil Kings back at it, finishing off a home-and-home with the Calgary Hitmen tonight from Rogers Place. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. And a pair of games in the PWHL. Ottawa is in Minnesota. Vancouver hosting New York. Full slate of games in the association, including the Raptors in Chicago for a 6 o'clock tip-off against the Bulls. Elsewhere, Boston hosting Golden State. OKC's in Brooklyn. Clippers are up against New Orleans, and Houston taking on the Lakers for a 7:30 tip-off. March Madness, first four continuing tonight with Prairie View A&M up against Lehigh, and the second half of the doubleheader, Miami of Ohio, their 31-1 record, look to get into the tournament taking on SMU. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Brent.